Hey everybody, Asher here with Curse of the Dead Gods, a game that is in early access for a little while longer, releasing later in February 2021, and man, this is a game that was not on my radar at all. It actually released in early access in the middle of June of last year, but it is a really interesting mashup of a lot of different things. It's an action roguelike, so there is a lot of like running around and fighting, but there are influences from Darkest Dungeon, influences from Slay the Spire, lots of other good stuff, even influences I'd say from Eternal Darkness, a game that is from a really long time ago, but still an oldie but a goodie. Let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do here is do a fresh file save just to kind of play on from this, and if this goes past into the early access and I don't have to reset data, it's fine because there's a lot to see, a lot of interlocking systems to look at, but I kind of want to give you all the context from the very beginning. You can see the Eagle Spire update is here, but I have played this a little bit, as you can see, but let me just go ahead and get started. You can see our friendly dead gods right there. What's the story? Well, I'll be honest with you, this game is a little light on story, but the visuals are very interesting, and honestly, cel-shaded in a Darkest Dungeon kind of inspired as well, as you'll see very soon. But there is your main character. Just going on a casual stroll, as we all tend to do. And somebody made a big mistake. So, 2D action not platformer. There's a few things to keep in mind all at once. You have a stamina system that's a little bit like any of the Fromsoft games. You can dash. Those little pips there will take care of your dashes. They will recharge over time or based on certain things you do. There's a torch. Now you may say, how is this like Darkest Dungeon? Bloop. Your torch can go on, but if you don't have your torch, you have to fight in the darkness. That can make a lot of different effects. So that's something we're going to play with as well. If you see in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there is a bunch of circles there. You may say, huh, that's kind of like the stress system from Darkest Dungeon. You wouldn't be wrong, but the implementation is a little bit more like Eternal Darkness. And if you're familiar with the insanity effects from that game, oh, you may be in for a treat here. And then you have a variety of weapons as well. You see we have our little sword here. We also have a gun, which you can see firing this gun takes stamina. We're going to go through all the tutorializing for that in just a minute. We'll just go into Legend of the Hidden Temple. Somebody took a really long turn from the Nickelodeon classic, which is very hard to find episodes of. But look, there's nowhere to go. You just got some happy little markers on the floor. Oh, look, a skull. Obviously, if we press button to interact, nothing bad could possibly happen with any kind of terrible-looking great seal left in an ancient mountain temple. Whoa. Get used to purple. There's a lot of purple in this game. But it's not just the cool purple, it's the corruption purple. So this game is called Curse the Dead Gods, and, well, it doesn't really hide the ball. You are cursed by dead gods, and you have to fight your way out. What fun. So this first area is a little bit of a tutorial, but it's still good for showing mechanics, because you see the isometric mode looks a lot more like a Path of Exile. I mean, I've heard comparisons to Hades, which is not wrong. So we're just getting our tutorials. You have your torch, you have your light and darkness. So there's two braziers in the room. These will not stay up all the time, but you can see there's traps, dodging and stamina. I remap dodge to A. I find that I'm not good at right trigger dodging. Oop, almost actually ran into the spikes there, but yeah. There will be a lot of spike traps, lots of other things. Basic combat. Chain multiple attacks for a powerful finisher, which means if we do X, 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 there's our finisher. Finisher takes stamina. X, 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 Y. Well, okay, we didn't do our gun finisher there, but see how that lights up? You do get a better hit when you actually time that right. So advanced combat, hold for charge attack, hold secondary attack, then release to time a perfect shot. So look, we're Zelda now. Chain secondary attacks after a series of main attacks to trigger an offhand combo. There we go. Now these traps will actually hit enemies as well, which makes for some interesting possibilities here. Alright, hold secondary attack. Alright, we do have to actually go through all this. Right now the game's healing me because this is tutorial mode. Yeah, these guys will keep coming here. Alright, we're gonna get one more tutorial, and it's advanced dodge, perfect dodge, and then parrying. Parrying, much like Dark Souls, Demon Souls parrying, is kind of the bane of plenty of players' existence here. So we need to get... We won't actually defeat these people until we can successfully dodge and parry them. But those do increase your stamina. So there's 2 dodges. Parry, which I also remapped. It's left trigger. I put it on the left button. But you see I'm hitting it just a little bit too early. There we go. But it does weaken your enemy, so it weakens their defenses, and I just allowed all these guys to come back, so maybe parrying will not go so badly. Adventures in parrying. You guys are just standing here like the Foot Clan. There we go. Finally. End of training. We can do training again at any time. Now we can leave or we can run back, so... Oh, let's do the training again. Crap. Another thing you can do that's really important sometimes is that you can set your enemies on fire with the torch. Alright, so those will just let you respawn people. So yeah, it's we get lots of treasures here. Crystal skulls and jade rings are currency that you use for the permanent upgrade progression that's in this game, much like Hades. And we'll play with that in just a little bit, but you can see the map, and this looks a lot like another game. This game, like I said, it pulls from a lot of different influences, but man, it works. So we have the opportunity to go to a weapon place or a gold place. I find gold is important to get early, just so that we can afford to do other things without filling up that purple bar on the bottom right, which is corruption. Corruption, there's a few different ways you get it. Anytime you enter a door, you get corruption. Some enemies' attacks will give you corruption, and there's another opportunity to build up more corruption. Okay. That's, this is a secret area, so I want to see if I can get somebody to break that door open. Okay, that's a corruption attack, and that's a problem. Now we have another counter here which says greed kill. Oh, wow. Nearly did really bad there. Greed kills. They will give you more gold if you do things in succession here. So we could get plus 15 to poison attacks. I don't have any poison attacks yet. Doesn't mean I won't get it. But I'd kind of rather have the 50 gold. Now, for those of you who may have watched a video of this before, you'll know that that's a new feature for where it's early access right now. Is being able to take something you don't like and offering it to the gods. Like, I will take this because it's 20 base damage for swords. And if we look in our inventory here, I have a sword. And now we do more damage. I don't have any blessings yet or anything. As far as I know, this is the only guy. I don't know if there's any other characters. But you see, we opened up a secret room. Or we could take the normal exit, but I do want to see what the secret is. There's just a lot going on here, and I do enjoy it. Okay, we want to get rid of the corruption enemy first. I'd love to actually parry something correctly, but anytime we get a hit in, that increases our greed counter. So, and you don't have to always fight in the light, much like Darkest Dungeon. Plus 4 damage. I'm not planning on carrying that much gold, so we'll just take the corruption minus. Minus 4 is honestly not a lot, but it does add up. But you'll see that as we increase our corruption, bad things happen here. Now, I haven't done a great job at the very beginning here, but if I look over here, that little machete with the up arrow is weapon upgrades, and I'd like to hit both of those weapon upgrades. Fortunately, they've given us a lot of places to heal, so we're just going to go for more gold for now. But see, anytime you get a door, 20 corruption. You cannot escape the corruption. You just can't. Alright, so let's see if I can get a good parry here. There we go. Might as well learn to parry while learning the game. So sometimes enemies will just pick up crystal skulls. It's all very good. But one thing that I really like about how this game works out is I turn off the torch, and, oh, well, I have a brazier turned on. Let's see what this is. Whispering Aegis, secondary shield. It will replace my pistol. 25% chance to automatically parry. Yes, please. You see the item I dropped, I can't actually offer it to the gods because I've already touched it. Alright, I need to, okay. Whoop. Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge. So, shield, actually a lot like Hades. You can smack things with your shield, or you can shield charge with your shield. There are enemies over there, they don't really care about me. Ooh, that's a new one. I can increase my perception by 1, which I think increases treasure find. I should really know these things by now. But... ooh, damn it. Alright, so got some greed kills. No other treasure on the side. There is treasure on the side. Nice. Base damage from maces. I'll just take the gold. I could find a good mace later, but I already have increase here. So I took a little bit of damage, which is not great. But fortunately, there are healing fountains that you'll go to, and you can see my torch is out. And yet things are glowing, so we're in the darkness. Now this is where we heal. Looks foreboding, right? You can actually heal multiple times. It's really nice. I'm only going to heal once, though, because if you saw, my corruption went up. It went from 84 to 94, so that's the trade-off. You heal, you get corruption. It's not as big of a deal on the shorter areas as it is later on, but you're going to see here, we're going to get a new corruption effect. I have no idea what it is. It's random, and some of them really, really, really affect gameplay. Although not all of them are, like, bad. It's just, here's a trade-off. Something bad happens, and then you get something good. But you see, we have a lot of gold, so that's going to serve us well here. So, first corruption, you have to learn to play with this. That's just part of the game. I mean, you're cursed. You got a purple glowing hand. Shadow word. The shadows can play tricks on the eye, best they be named, so the enemy cannot lie. Regular enemies are concealed while in shadows. Concealed enemies are revealed by light while attacking. This is one of my least favorite modifiers, but at least I'm doing a melee build. But you'll see here what this means. Cursed. The last time I had this, I was having a really good run with throwing knives, which are a ranged weapon, and a bow, which is a ranged weapon, and see, all these guys right here, they'll get revealed when things are in the light. Fortunately, one way that you can play this that's really nice is you can just set the enemies on fire by triggering traps. Now, once again, I'm just going to say this one time. There's no timer, so you can take all the time you need to fight, and that way it's a lot like, oh gosh, what's the word? A lot like the Fromsoft games. You don't have to win everything all at once. Gold offerings remove 5 corruption, that's fine. But I've really got to walk around with my torch. Now, once again, this is what I was talking about. You turn off the torch, you don't see the spikes. Turn on the torch, there's spikes. But that gold, as you probably know, is bait. So there's got to be a trap in here somewhere. Fortunately, we're in the early levels, so the spike trap is the bait. But these braziers as well, they're not permanent. Like, you can see right here, this guy just put it out. That's a slightly more elite enemy here. And I'm not sure if I can parry all of his attacks. Nope, can't parry that one. Alright. See, I got some corruption just by being hit right here. But I'll shield the guy. And I also got an automatic parry from that, so maybe I just suck at parrying. It's entirely possible. Okay, there's our greed combos. There we go. Just a nice little backhand shield move. I do like the sort of foreboding, oh look, everything closes behind you. So once again, we have traps. The extra stamina is really good, but yeah, some of these spikes are a little rusty and a little bloodied. And look at this. They don't even keep the same traps on both sides. So look, there's secrets, there's traps. It reminds me a lot of some of the Path of Exile stuff too, and I don't know if it's just the dark aesthetic as well, but finally we're going to stop farming gold and try to get upgrades here. Alright. So this looks more like an enemy gauntlet. Let's set some enemies on fire. Okay, or I could just not dodge them. Okay, one down. Perfect dodge. Now, fortunately, your main weapon doesn't actually take stamina to use, so that's nice. Okay, let's, that's good, because I totally didn't try to dodge, I didn't try to parry that. Oh shit, okay. Now, sometimes enemies will be able to friendly fire, but this is not one of those times. Okay. Now you're getting annoying. There we go. Now these guys are bad news. I gotta take him out first because he will heal and he will summon lots of bad things. So I'm gonna be very aggressive with my attacks on him. Because if you noticed, he also teleports, buffs other things. It's not so bad when there's one of them, but when you get rooms with multiples of them. Whew. That extra stamina saved my butt. Saved my bacon. Now, I know it looks like there's a lot going on the screen, but obviously this gameplay is a little bit more methodical than maybe sometimes you see me in Hades just going nuts. Like just tapping and rolling around and everything. You have to be careful with your roll because you do have a limited amount. Alright, so offerings. You can offer blood, or you can offer gold. So you can pay for more corruption. And I only have 2 pieces of gear, so I only have 2 things that I can upgrade. Now, typically the machete's not very exciting, and the Whispering Aegis is pretty exciting. You know, normally I would say I do the machete because I have the relic that buffs machetes, but I think I'm going to do the Aegis just because it hits harder and it will give lightning damage. Elemental damage is a very good thing in this game, and you kind of want to get it where you can. So there's one upgrade, no other side things, and hopefully we can avoid getting too much more corruption here. My goal is to get to the boss with only 2 corruptions. So gonna heal here. I'm not gonna top off. So 880 should be fine. If I got some Constitution, which is the red stat, I could totally upgrade there, but maybe we'll get a better weapon. I'll be fine with the sword if I need it, if that's what I need to do. Alright, so Brazier. Okay, let's not. Ooh. Okay, I just set myself on fire. That's fun. I guess that's one way to be able to see stuff. There we go. So much more gold. Okay, now we have a new type of enemy here. This guy will shoot a fancy little fire beam. And he will shield himself as well. Oh god, that was greedy. Alright. Okay. So I think that's everybody. Alright, new weapon. Swift Bow. Sky Hammer for lightning attacks. +1 damage per point of perception. 20 critical damage. Or a spear. So the swift bow is okay. It gives range. Range is not terrible with the first boss here. I am not going to corrupt myself. I'm going to hit level 2 anyway. So we'll get the Sky Hammer, pay the gold. Can't take it with me from run to run anyway. So two-handed weapons. So here's our hammer. We can charge with it. You can see these take a lot of stamina as well. But we're not going to be using our machete as much. I like this loadout. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be responsible enough to beat the boss. I have beaten this boss before, so I'm doing a little more successfully on maybe a first run than you might expect, because I like playing these games and getting some experience instead of totally embarrassing myself on camera the first time. But temples bite. Some of these things mix very poorly. Spike traps are now triggered automatically and sequentially, so we only have one more floor to deal with that. But it looks like we have another... Oh wow, this extra bit of stamina is going to be really useful for hammer time. Alright, who do we got? Just some Zombros. Alright, let's see if we can get some good AoE action here. Alright. Okay, gotta let my stamina recharge. So once again, our heal buddy, we gotta take him out first. Wow, automatic. I would have parried that. Alright. Now I can pay corruption to upgrade this. Because I don't have enough gold. And I can't afford the corruption price here. Because it'd only be 80 going up to 94, so that won't give me a third penalty here. Yeah, we don't want to up machete if second weapon's a pistol. We could upgrade this to level 3 and it only costs 50 corruption. That's just an increase in damage. We don't get new stats. I think I'm gonna offer blood for the hammer here. See how it goes. Alright, so we're at 74. Like I said, managing that corruption, much like Darkest Dungeon, or much to a lesser extent like Eternal Darkness, it's about managing your stress, but now we're at a champion. So, cool. And it's this guy. Now, we don't have to worry about light in here. But we do have to worry about all of his murder puppies. Okay, now I gotta really watch it here because that just drained my stamina. Now I did a crap ton of damage to him. Okay, here comes murder puppies. I should have... Oh, I parried. Those are parryable. Nice. Okay. So once again, secondary attacks or heavy weapon attacks do take stamina. Okay. That's not great, but I am going a little aggressively here because I don't have to worry about a later dungeon. I'm going to need to learn to fight that fight a little less aggressively because, as I'll show you in just a minute, there are longer dungeons you can do, and this guy is not the last boss of it. He's just the first boss of it. You can see we have 25 skulls, 30 rings, and a partridge in a pear tree. So, congratulations, we defeat Legends of the Hidden Temple, and now all we get to fight is more temple. Once again, even though Eternal Darkness was much of a Call of Cthulhu kind of game, the vibe here for this temple exploration feels a lot more like that, but only 14 minutes, not terrible. Sorry, my voice cracked there. Lurkers being the #1 thing that damaged me, but that's fine. I took a lot of face damage. But you have all your little run stats. 3 perfect rooms. That's actually a personal best. Extra damage taken in darkness, 80, because you get extra damage in darkness. That's fun. High single damage hit, 100. That'll get higher later. And then crystal skulls collected, 25. And I know exactly what I'll do with those skulls this time. So, look, we made it back to the entrance. Now, there's a few things to note as we kind of go through the meta progression here. We get a blood emblem, which one new exploration is available, 6 new blessings are available, And now we're in the underworld. Now the underworld is apparently not the temple here. We do have new dungeons that we can do. Like, because I beat that, I've unlocked the medium exploration. I love how it just spins until we're ready. We're just gonna tease it here, but there's sorry. There's also the Eagle dungeon, which is honestly the hardest of the dungeons. And it's the newest. Short exploration for the Serpent dungeon, which I'll do next, and then special events you get from time to time, such as Old Nightmare, Escape from Your Worst Nightmare. That permanently gives you hallucination and infested host. It's not totally as trippy as hell as Eternal Darkness, but we can play through the special event later. The other thing that happens is, I don't know what the best comparison is to this, but the game will offer you loadouts instead of your base weapons, like throwing knives, braided whip. That's actually a really fun combination. But we also have things like blessings. This is your meta progression, and there's lots of different things that we can do here. We have 25 skulls. Some of these take skulls. You'll see some of these take blood emblems, and the blood emblem ones are like really big change your run strategy kind of things here. Then we also have Forsaken Weaponry, which is just the ability to unlock weapons. Now and some of these weapons are actually pretty rare, but these rings you actually have to beat dungeons to get through. But this is sort of the same thing as, like, you unlock the weapon and it'll start appearing in your runs to pick up. There's a few other games out there that are kind of like that. And then we have altars, which is what you saw at the very beginning. One of the first most important unlocks, and one of the things I kept forgetting to do if you watch me stream this once or twice, is you want to restore altars first, at least to try and get some more options available, because you may not always like the run there. And then Divine Favors, which lets you reroll. I don't think I'm going to unlock any Divine Favors yet, because there's some specific blessings that I want, and I'd love to run into the next dungeon with 2 blessings unlocked. Now, Furious Skin is good. Fire illuminates fire. They're all damage while taken in the light is reduced. Greed kills restore 1 more stamina. Some of those are really powerful. But I think maybe the economic choice of gain 100 gold and 5 perception at the start of your exploration is, like, just really just solid. Traps deal 100% more damage to enemy. I do like playing the positional game. I know not everybody does. I don't plan on taking damage all the time. 6 seconds is a really long time for kind of revenge strikes, though. So I think I'll do the trap one for now. And you can respec at any time. It's just boop. Just a push of a button. Not too bad. Now, in terms of weapons, there's some weapons that I like. And I have 30 skulls to choose from. But you see, some of these weapons you cannot actually unlock until later. Like, for instance, Titan Slayer deals critical damage to elites. That's just a good one in general. I really like claws. If you've seen me play stuff, you know I like spammy melee stuff. Charge attacks land an additional hit during the dash. That sounds like fun. Good way to gap close. And then I still have 10 little crystals left. We could actually unlock the sacrificial Makana, because you see there's a lot of times where there's 3 enemies, or sometimes there's only 1, but you know, one of my first really good runs in this game did come from throwing knives. And while Heart Seeker's projectiles have greater range and pierce through enemies, I do want to work on unlocking that. Chromatic knives are just a really solid choice because they cycle through all different kinds of elemental damage, so it makes a lot of those relics that I pick up kind of worthwhile. So just some things to think about. There's a lot of meta progression. There's insanity effects. There's repeated dungeons and random dungeons that run around. There's gear loadouts that are randomized. It's a game that really borrows from a lot of different games, but it works so well. Like I said, it's hard to imagine that this game is in an early access state right now. It's been ready to go for a while from what I've read about it. And it's something I've really been enjoying so far. So this is Asher. We'll be playing this again in the near future. And like I said, hope you enjoyed it. My cats are going crazy right now, so I gotta take care of them. Thanks for watching, and we will do this again soon. Curse of the Dead Gods. It's in the name. Take care.